Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and today I want to show you some really simple ways of decorating a Kraft jewelry box. So all these boxes here, they started out basically like this, a plain box with a little cotton insert. And it's great because what this does is it really cushions and protects your jewelry if you're selling it or if you're giving it as a gift. It makes a lovely presentation. And there's a lot of different ways that you can alter these boxes that doesn't take a lot of effort, but really jazzes them up. Personally, I do like the plain look, but you can also use all these different ways of altering them and using pretty much just what you probably already have in your workshop. So as you can see, I've painted some, others I've stamped, some I've just tied ribbons around. Here I use some gift wrap to cover it, a Sharpie marker, and even epoxy stickers. So I want to walk you through how I did each of these. I'm not going to make identical examples, but I'm going to show you the different techniques. So I'm going to scoot these aside, pull some plain boxes, and show you a variety of ways in which you can really make these into something very unique and lovely presentation. So the easiest way by far is just to take some ribbon and tie it around it. Here is a silk ribbon. I just tied a bow. It's actually a double bow. Here is actually, it's called On the Surface. It's a lovely card which has a bunch of different ribbons on it, and we sell it at Beadaholique.com in a whole variety of colors. And I just took 4 different ribbons and tied them around. And actually, if you're giving this to someone who loves to craft, they're going to love using the ribbon for their art projects as well. And then on this one, which I thought went really nice with the craft box, is just some hemp. So all I needed to do this one here is cut a length of hemp. You can make it however long you like. And I just tied it around the box. So just like you're doing a gift package, made it crisscross in the back, pulled it up to the front, took one string under from the one direction, put the string under going the opposite direction, tied those to pull it tight, and I just tied a simple bow. This is a really nice, simplistic look and makes a lovely presentation. So super simple. If you just want to tie a ribbon around it, they look beautiful just doing that. Another option, which is kind of fun, is epoxy stickers. So see, here I tied a ribbon as well. And then for the epoxy stickers, I just took a graphic that I have. You can use whatever you have around the house. You can use a photo, whatever you like. And then I took an epoxy sticker, put it over the image, pressed it into place, and then I just cut it out. Took some Crafter's Pick glue, and I'm just going to use my fingers. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I like to just use my fingers a lot. It's really easy. Put it on the back of the image, flip it over, and press onto place on your box. You could use one, you can use multiples, whatever you like. I actually think it would be really fun if you had a bigger box like this and you did solid colors and polka dots. I think that would be adorable, but you can definitely do whatever you like on that. So that's how you use epoxy stickers for it. Another super simple thing to do is just write on them. I've got a Sharpie marker. You can just write whatever you like. So you can write a personal message if you like, and then you can go ahead. And I've got stamps here. I have a little twig, I have a bumblebee, I have a dragonfly, and I've got this great StazOn ink, which is a permanent ink. And then you can embellish it just by taking the stamp, dipping it in the ink pad, and then putting it onto your craft box. Super fun, super easy. I have a couple more examples to show you of doing that. So you'll see on this one, I actually made it look like a little gift tag that you can fill in. And then on this one, I did the little bumblebees. I did them around the edge as well. So that's a fun, cute idea, and whatever stamp you have will work. So those are some examples of stamping. Another really easy way to alter these boxes is with Sharpie markers, and that's what I've actually done to this one here. So I have a collection of markers, and you can just draw right on the craft box and do whatever pattern you like. Super simple. Actually, it'd be really fun if you're doing a gift for a loved one. If you have children, let them draw on these boxes. Do a little drawing for grandma or whomever. So you can do whatever you like. You can do a fun pattern. You can draw flowers. Super quick and super easy. Now, if you want to put a little bit more effort into it, you can take it a step further and you can add paint or paper. And I'm actually going to clear my work surface so I have a little bit more room to work here and show you how to add paint to the craft boxes and also how to cover one with a wrapping paper. You could use the comic strip out of the newspaper. You can use whatever you like and apply it to the craft box itself. So I'm going to clear this off and then I'm going to show you how to do these. Alrighty, so I've got the painted ones. So you'll see on this one I actually did a silver metallic brushed effect on the background, and then I just painted a tree. And this one I just did basically stripes, really kind of sloppy and messy, but they look kind of fun and painterly. So I actually used vintage patinas for this. I like to use what I have in my workshop, and this is what I had in my workshop. You do not need to use vintage patinas. You can use acrylic paint from the craft store. You can use whatever paint you like. I would not recommend oil, but if it's like an acrylic and a fast drying paint, it's going to work really well for this. So I want to show you how to do this stripey technique. And I've got a plain box right here. And then this here is a soldering mat. I like to use it because the paint actually will come off of it pretty easily and I can keep reusing it. An alternative, if you don't have a soldering mat or something like this, is waxed paper. That works totally fine as well. So I'm going to shake up my paint, put a dab of each on, and then I'm going to paint the lid of my box. You might want to take it and separate it from the base, just so you don't get the base, any paint on it. All right, you can see I put down some green, I put down some purple, and I put down some cream. And of course, use whatever colors you like. This was just an example. And then I'm just going to take my paintbrush, and I am going to paint directly onto the box. And for the striped effect, I'm basically just going to do rows, and I want it to blend together. So I want to then add a little bit of cream. So I did one that was pretty much solid green. Now I'm going to do another one that's added a little bit of that cream to it. And I'm going to go all the way over the side. Now I want to pick up a little purple. And then a little bit of cream with the purple. Back to my green, and you'll notice I'm not cleaning my paintbrush for this particular effect. I want them to all blend together. I'm quite okay if some purple ends up on the green. Then add a little bit of the cream. Back to the purple, and I'm just working my way down the box. And this is going so quick. You could definitely do this for presents, or if you're selling your jewelry and you want to have a really unique presentation. Super quick and easy. Almost to the end. I'm going to try to just not touch the wet area. Okay, and I would just let that dry, and when it's dry, it will look something like that. Or you could also, if you don't want to be quite as abstract, and you can do something like a tree or whatever you like. But really easy to paint onto these boxes. It absorbs in nicely. If you want something to have a little shine, make sure you get a paint with a gloss. If you want to be matte, just pick out a matte paint. So then the final technique I want to show you, and there's many more techniques than these, but these are the ones which I thought would be really fun and easy to show, is to actually cover the lid in a piece of wrapping paper. So to do that, you're going to need some wrapping paper. And this was actually a sheet I got at a stationery store. And what's nice about this one is it's actually pretty thick. So I'm going to pick a design that I want to be my focal. So I think he will look great. So I'm going to go ahead, lay my box over it, and I'm going to leave about just under twice the width of the side here. So if this is about half, not quite half an inch at estimate, I'd want a little under an inch all the way around. Always better to cut a little extra than to not cut enough. So I'm going to flip it over, and I can actually see my design through it a little bit, which is very handy. So I'm going to see about where I want it. And again, I'm going to take some glue. You can use a toothpick or a small piece of wire as an applicator if you like. I prefer to use my fingers. It just goes a little bit quicker, and I like to be able to smear it really nice. If you want, you can squeeze it out of the cap. I just am wanting a little bit larger quantities, so I just took the cap off. Okay, flip it over, center it where you want it, and making sure that you leave enough on all sides, and just press into place. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold up one edge, and we're going to go to the other side and fold up another edge. And at this time, we're going to take a little bit of glue and cover the edge. And then press the paper in place. Do the exact same thing on the opposite side. We're going to let that dry for about 2-3 minutes. It doesn't take too long. And then we're going to work on the other side and then folding this part over as well and finishing it. All right. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead, once that's dry, and make a slit. So on the edge that you folded over, we're going to just make a slit right in line with the other edge of the box. We're going to do that on both sides. Then we're going to fold down that so that it makes a really nice, neat line when you put the lid back on. So I like to pre-fold just so that the paper knows where it's supposed to go once I put the glue on. Again, just going to take a little bit of glue and put it on the paper itself and fold over and press into place. Going to do the same on the other side. And then I'm going to let that dry for a couple minutes and then work on the other sides. So to finish off your box, what you're going to do is you're going to fold up the 2 remaining sides, and then you can tell it's going to make like these little wings, and you want that. So go ahead, allow those to make a crease. And do that on both sides. Okay, and before you go any further, make sure that this paper, which is protruding from the area where your lip is on the side of your box, is not actually wider than the actual side of the box. And I'm a little worried that mine is, so I'm just going to trim it down a little. This is where we talked about it's a little better to have too much than too little, because you can always cut it down. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. Now what you want to do is we want to put a little bit of glue in each of the folds. So just a little will do it, just needing them to stay in place. Now we do want to add a little bit of glue right in here on both sides so that the edge of the box, the side of the box, is glued to the paper. You don't need a lot of glue here because you're going to be folding this over again like you did on the other side, and that's going to anchor it in place as well. Almost done, basically one more fold to go and just a little bit of gluing. So you've got this. This is what it looks like from the front. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper and we're going to fold it over, and as we do so, we're going to watch these corners. So I'm just going to work, so I folded in the middle to begin with. Now I'm working my way to the sides. You see how that corner is kind of coming in a little bit? That's perfect. That's what we want. Just roll it in. And when I say roll it in, I mean I'm taking this corner and I'm pushing it in. Pushing it to the inside of the box so that we have a really nice line. We can do that on the other side as well. That corner, we're just going to manipulate it. We're going to take it and push it in. And now we're going to do that on the other side as well. So fold in the middle. Make sure that these corners go in the direction you want them to. And if you press right in here, it's going to help those corners a lot. So if one gives you trouble, like this one's not folding in as much, just take that corner and pull it to the inside and press down. So now what we need to do is we need to add some glue. So I'm going to pull that out a little bit. Add some glue. Add a little glue underneath the corners as well. And do that on all sides. If you can work fast enough, you can actually put glue over the tabs, the corners as well at the same time. Fold it over. Fold your corner over. It should already be pre-creased, so it should be really easy. Just push it into place. And there we go. So we covered the lid. You could cover the base as well if you wanted to. Just make sure your paper's not so thick that the lid and the base don't sit properly on each other. There we have a lid, which we can just put onto our box. And we've just converted this box from a plain craft box into a really pretty little decorative box. So I want to show you these techniques again, just in their example form. So we've got the covered boxes, we've got painted, we have Sharpie marker, which is really kind of fun and funky. We have epoxy stickers, and these epoxy stickers are actually the Scrabble tile size, and then I've used a little round one with a Merry Christmas. Then you can stamp, which is fun. Make your own little to from tag, write a personal message, and then finally, the easiest of all, just tying with ribbon. So I've got silk ribbon, I've got these on the surface ribbons, which your crafting friends will love to reuse, and then simple hemp. And of course, you can use any ribbons you like. So these are a bunch of different ways that you can take these craft boxes and alter them. They're quick, they're easy, they're fun, or you can just use a craft box in its original state. It's really quite pretty and quite simple and elegant. So I hope this video has given you some ideas of where to start with the decorating of your craft boxes.